सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. The next sutra throws more light on this one truth. Let us enter into the next sutra. Tata drashtuhu swarupeva sthanam. This is another beautiful sutra. Let me give you the translation. The earlier sutra says withdrawal from mental thought patterns is yoga. Here Patanjali says then results relaxation into one's true nature of limitlessness and total understanding. See, when the thoughts disappear, when the cessation happens, when the chitta vrittis are no more, when the thoughts are no more, when the mental actions are no more, he says it results relaxation into one's own true nature. That is what I am saying. In a way, even your deep sleep is a pattern of your mind. Anything you can go in and come out is pattern. Anything you can experience is pattern. Please understand. Anything you can experience again and again is pattern. If you understand with this definition, even your sleep is a pattern. Even your sleep is a pattern. You go in and come out, go in and come out. It is a pattern. When you really relax, Patanjali says here, then results relaxation into one's true nature. Swarupe vasthanam. You are established into your own true self. Please understand. These are some of the basic truths. Whatever you see and experience is because of your thought pattern. Whatever you see in the outer world, whether it is your health, body, mind, world, relationships, everything is because of your thought pattern. Everything is your thought pattern. Let me tell you this one small story. How experiences are changed through thought patterns. One guy, old guy, went to a village, neighbor village, nearby village, for some purpose. When he came back, from the distance he saw his house is on fire. He started rolling on the ground and started crying. In India there is a special way of crying. They don't just cry, they roll on the ground and cry. Indian villagers roll on the ground and crying. He started rolling on the ground and crying. He had 3 sons. One son came to him and said, "Father, don't worry. Don't you remember yesterday we sold that house?" This guy suddenly stood up, wiped the tears. "Oh, yes. I remember." He is completely relaxed. Next son ran towards him and said, "Father, it is true we sold yesterday, but still we have not got the money." Then again he fell and started rolling on the ground. "Oh, my house is on fire, please save. There is nobody to save, is there anybody to save?" He started calling all gods, all possible help. In India, that is only 911. There is no other 911. He started calling and rolling. Nothing can be done. And after a few minutes, again the third son came and said, no, don't worry, father. Just today morning I took the money and deposited in the bank. The other brothers don't know. I took the money. It is not our house. Then immediately sat up again. He wiped the tears. Oh God, everything is okay. Everything is okay. See, the same situation, same person. One moment he is feeling the deep suffering, agony. The other moment he is completely relaxed, settled. Thought patterns. Thought patterns. That plays a major role. Actually, I can say that is the only thing in the life, nothing else. It's a thought patterns. There is another one beautiful story in Zen. It's a very deep, subtle truth which will really help you to understand the sutra in a deeper way. People ask me, Swamiji, do you mean to say we should not cry in the situations like this? Somebody's house is on fire, how to be there without crying? People say, I can't be that insensitive, especially when it comes to the death of near and dear one, or some losing the love of a near and dear one. That kind of situations, I can't be so insensitive. People ask me, then I can't be so insensitive. Can't I become enlightened? Understand, it's a very subtle truth you need to understand. One is accepting the situation. Another one is accepting the response happening inside your inner space. There is a beautiful story, Zen story. There was a great master. His disciple also is an enlightened master, Suzuki. When Suzuki's master passed away, the disciple, his name is Suzuki, he started crying, weeping, rolling on the ground. All the other disciples came and asked, Master, what is this? You are an enlightened being. How can you cry like this? How can you weep? Then Suzuki says, if an enlightened person should not cry, get lost. I am not interested in your enlightenment. I can't be so insensitive to this situation. I am crying because I'll miss his physical presence. He can never leave me, or I can never leave him, because he became me and I became him. That is different. But physically I'll miss him. I'll miss the graceful actions of him and the beautiful conscious leela, conscious play happening around him. I'll miss him. I'll miss it. Many people, I've seen many people, this is what I call pseudo devotion. They can't stand my presence. They will be away. If I tell them don't miss, they'll say, no, you always tell us, you are always with us. I know you are with me wherever I am. It's a very nice, hypocritical, which is a rare happening on the planet Earth. Very rarely this kind of masters land, and the game happening around them is an amazing play of consciousness. I'll miss it. That is why I am crying. Then another disciple is asking, then what about the teaching which you are giving all these years? Accept what is happening, accept what is happening. Tatada, tatada, tatada. What has happened to the teaching? Have you taught this to us without you experiencing? Please understand, very beautiful truth. Just understanding can give you a very strong click. The Suzuki's reply. The disciple is asking, then have you taught this tatada, accepting what is without you experiencing? Suzuki beautifully explains. there are two levels of acceptance. One, accepting whatever is outside, the situation. Accepting the situation. Surrendering to this moment. Surrendering to tathata, what is. Surrendering to the now. When surrendering to the now happens, that does not mean you will be insensitive. You will be insensitive. When you surrender to this moment, for example, this moment that when the master is dead, he is no more in the body. It is not that you will be insensitive. It can create a strong emotions in you, accepting that also. Acceptance in the internal level, in the inner level, the second level. See, usually what we do, we try to accept the situation in the outer world. Then immediately we have a scale. If I accept, I should be behaving like this in the inner world. You don't have acceptance in the inner world. You have a scale. If I accept this situation, I should be peaceful, collective, calm, restful. You have a scale about the inner world. You accepted the outer world, means you are very moral, conscience based, but not conscious based. There is a big difference between just accepting the outer world happening and accepting the outer and inner world happenings. Here, Suzuki is throwing a light, new light on tathata, acceptance. Acceptance does not mean just accepting the outer world. Usually we have this idea. If I accept the situation in the outer world, immediately I should become calm, quiet, relaxed, restful. I should not have any agitation. I should not have any irritation. I should not have any response. You have a, then it means what? Then you are not accepting the inner world. Surrendering to the now means accepting the outer world and the response which is happening in the inner world. Suzuki throws an important light on acceptance. So I have accepted the master has left the body. Same way I accepted the response which is happening in me, that pain, that suffering, that separation. I accepted that also. This is the complete acceptance. Complete acceptance. Here, that is what Patanjali describes. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha. When completely you accept, when there is no chitta vritti, when there is no action, actually when you have the both acceptance, suddenly you will see you are established in your swarupa, in your nature.